because I also have all of my Felicini and like all the sock yarn I got for my birthday and everything. Those are... Did I see a bug? Did I see a bug? I thought I saw... Yep, that's a big ass spider. Oh my lord. Yeah! Hello, welcome back to Knit Away the Anxiety Podcast. My name is Marissa, and anxiety is a little lower than usual, at least in daily life. I'm feeling a little anxious because I'm a bit out of practice. It's been like, I think 2 months since I last updated or uploaded, and it's been a bit. It's been a couple months. It's been a while, few weeks, few months, and I don't know. We're gonna see if I can still do this thing. See if anyone's still interested. What even is the date today? It's August 30th is the date of recording, and hopefully this will be up tomorrow, the 30th first. A little bit of admin stuff. I'm gonna try and get back into recording and posting. I think I'm going to scale back how frequently I was posting, so I'm not going to be posting every other week. It'll be most likely once a month towards the end of the month, more of like a monthly recap kind of thing. That way I have a bit more time to get things done and to move things around, and just so I can still enjoy it, because I still want to do the videos. I still enjoy making them. The problem is that it's a bit of a commitment for me with where my brain is at to be making recordings every other week. Like, record one week, edit and post the next week, and then record the next weekend. It's my recording and editing was not super great in terms of scheduling, so my plan is to do a like end of the month recap kind of thing instead of every other week. So I hope that's okay with everyone. If things have changed in my life, as we'll get into later on in the video, but if I feel like I can do more, I will do more. Just coming back to it after a few weeks of being gone, I'm gonna say that just end of the month, that's what we're doing for now. So all that said, before we get started, thank you for being here. Thank you for even clicking watch. I really appreciate it. If you want to keep seeing when I post things, since even though it'll be a bit, delayed, please hit subscribe, click the like button, leave me a comment. Like, I actually really want your feedback. I want to see what y'all are. I want to know what y'all are knitting, crocheting, whatever you're doing. I want to know your crafty things. I want to know where you are. Like, I have people over in the UK, and I'm over on the west coast of the US. Like, I love that I'm connecting with people over all across the globe. It's great. So please leave me a comment, like the video, all that jazz. You know how to do this. You're on YouTube. You know how to do the things. But let's get into the nitty stuff. Guys, this is exciting. I'm so out of practice. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So I've got 4 finished objects, 3 of which I finished in the last 2 weeks. As we'll talk about later, the last month especially has been a lot of things have changed in a good way. But yeah, let's get into the FOs. So very first FO is what I'm calling Sock Yarn Cowl number 5 for the entire year. And the reason I'm calling it number 5 is because it's the 5th one that I've knit this year. I found this pattern via, who was it? I think it was Knit All the Yarn podcast. Lisa from Knit All the Yarn podcast. Yeah, Lisa. Months ago went and watched all of her backlog. I'm a little bit behind right now, but most of her backlog from like the last few years. And she found a pattern by on a blog written by a woman who calls herself Noble Knits. And BTW, all of the information about all my projects will be linked below. So yeah, Sock Yarn Cowl number 5 is by Noble Knits. And here is my little cowl. This is leftover Patons Kroy in the colorway Tourmaline Stripes. I used a US 5 or 3.75 millimeter needle to knit this one. I use that same needle for all of my sock yarn cowls. I'm a tight knitter, so I have to go up. I think the pattern actually calls for like a US 3 or something, but I read it really, really tightly. So I typically have to go up 2 to 3 needle sizes for almost everything. So, but yeah, this was just, I had some scraps left over from re-knitting my husband's socks, so I threw that on my spinner thing, and this is the color I picked. Oh, that's a great freaking segue, a little tiny detour. I mentioned my spinner months ago in, I think, like episode 4 or 5 or something. I never explained what in the hell it is. So one second. Okay. So I don't know if it's even going to show you this because on my cell phone. I have this app called from Treebit Games, and it's literally like a little roulette wheel type thing. And I have a bunch of roulettes of like sock for different color options for my muscle bros, my sock yarn cowls, and then my next pair of socks. So and like even my projects, like I have one for projects, and it's like if I ever feel like I need something to work on or something like that, then I'll like if I'm having a moment where I'm like I don't know what freaking project to work on right now, I'll spin the project wheel and it'll tell me, oh, these are your active projects, here's the one you're going to work on now. Most of the time it'll land on one I really don't want to work on, so I'll spin it again until I get one of the few that I'm like, okay, I want that one. But then like for like I think I said in my stash video, I set aside certain yarns for my muscle burra, sock yarn cowls, and socks. They're all in different bins within my yarn collection or yarn organization, and so I have all the yarns that are within those bins, not with the exception of the sock bin. The sock one, as you guys saw, is many colors because I also have all of my Felici and like all the sock yarn I got for my birthday and everything. Those are. Did I see a bug? Did I see a bug? I thought I saw. Yep, that's a big ass spider. Oh my lord. Fuck. Shit. Got it. That's gonna be fun for the video. You panic killing a spider. Jesus. Holy crap. My life flashed before my eyes. Oh my god. All I saw was this little... I'm ready for summer to be over, guys. I'm so ready for summer to be over. Oh, I hate spiders. But yeah, I use the roulette wheels whenever I'm facing decision paralysis, basically. And so I just spin the wheel and it tells me what I'm gonna do next. And it makes my life, it takes away the indecision and it makes things really easy for me. Especially for the projects that are like my sock yarn cowls, like this one, like Tourmaline stripes. The color was on the wheel and I spun the wheel and it said, okay, do Tourmaline stripes. So I did Tourmaline stripes. That's sock yarn cowl number 5. My Noble Knits, Patons, Kroy, Tourmaline stripes. Okay, number 2. I finished another pair of socks. I did another pair of sockies. Yay. That's a hair. That's what happens when I put them in the frickin' dryer. Or in the washing machine. So I'll put one of these down. And they do perfectly match because I like matching socks. So these are my 2 at a time on 2 circulars, because that's how I knit my socks. 2 at a time on 2 20-inch circular needles. But these were done using the Knit Picks Felicini, I think. Yeah, Felicini, and the color Concession stand. Is that new? They're intermediary during COVID time. Felici, but not quite Felici kind of BS. I think their whole thing with Felicini was that it was like micro striping rather than the thicker stripes you get with Felici, which I think I got like 2 or 3 of the Felicini, and I like the micro stripes to a degree. I like the thicker stripes. I think I like thicker stripes of Felici. But either way, like these turned out great. They fit really good. And I'm really happy with them. I did those on a US 1 or 2.25 millimeter needle. So those are my Felicini socks. And they're super cute. I'm really happy with those. Can you see the color? I hope so. I hope that new little light is not blowing the color out. I don't think so. It actually looks pretty accurate. Sweet. And project number 3 that I finished, I'm going to try not to get cat hair all over me, is the pattern is technically a baby blanket, but I made it into a cat bed pad. So this is, you really are not gonna be able to see it because of the framing. But yeah, that's a little pad for my cat's new tree. We got him in, he's had the same tree for like 3.5 or so years, and was worn to hell because he scratches a lot. And we got him a new one that didn't have, he's not a hidey cat. He doesn't like to be in hidey holes either. And the tree we had originally gotten him had a hidey hole that was literally unused, quite literally unused. And like I think he'd only gone in it like 3 times in 3.5 years. So we bought him a new one that just has 2 platforms and a bunch of scratching posts and a little like rubbing silicone comb thingy for rubbing his face on. But he didn't like the pads that it came with, the little pads that go into the beds. Like he had no interest in them at all. So I was like, okay, well, I know he likes knit fabrics. The only time he will lay on me is if I'm under a knit blanket or some kind of handmade blanket. Store-bought blankets he will not do. He won't lay on me, period. But if it's a handmade blanket, he will. So my thinking was I had some rando Red Heart Ombres in my stash still after my stash purge a few months ago. And I had started another blanket and I burned out on it so fast just because like I didn't even get through one of the 4 balls of yarn I pulled to do the blanket. So I was like, well, I like doing corner to corner blankets a lot. Like a lot of my blankets and things I do are corner to corner or on the bias style. So I was like, oh, I know I have a good, like a tried and true blanket pattern like stashed in my library. So why don't I just grab one of those balls and then one of those balls of ombre and I can make him a pad for it. So I did. So it's the pattern I used was called the Waterloo by the Galt House of Yarn. It's just a basic garter stitch on the like corner to corner blanket pattern. The only difference is that I added an I-cord, like an applied I-cord, which I do with almost every blanket that I do. Just because there's something about an I-cord edge. I just love an I-cord edge. It just looks beautiful. So yeah, so I did that for him, and yeah, did that out of the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in the color Tiful, which is really more of a tealy blue than it is blue, but it is really pretty. So did it on a US 9 or 5.5 millimeter needle. And the last one is kind of big, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it in frame. So this was my super bulky scrappy blanket. I don't know if I talked about it in my stash video, but I intentionally saved a bunch of what did I do? I saved a bunch of like one-off Lion brand Woolies Thick and Quick skeins just so I could put them all together into one big garter corner to corner blanket. And I ended up doing this like light to dark ombre kind of thing with it. And I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I did have to buy 2 balls of yarn in order to finish it because I didn't have enough to finish it for the size that I wanted. But that's fine. So it started with this color and became this greeny color, and then this cotton candy color, and migrates the corner, and then we got into the darks. And we finished here. Yeah, so that, oh my god, and it's super bulky yarn. It's really, really heavy. It didn't take me long to finish either. I think it took maybe 6-7 days, maybe a little longer. But I don't know that I don't have these written down in the exact like color order that I put them in, but for those interested, the colors I used were Fern, Dusk, Night Shadow, Coney Island, City Lights, Fossil, Stormfront, Bedrock, and Blackstone, Astroland, good lord, Carousel, and Hudson Bay. And I did that on a US 5 or 10mm needle. Yeah. So that was my really big one that got a lot of grams out of my stash, which is really nice. Time for the whip roundup. I'm gonna call it the whip roundup. So as is obvious, since the last episode 2 months ago, I started and finished things. Like, I think literally all 3 of these were started and finished. No, the socks, the bed pad, and the blanket were started and finished between today and last episode. This was finished between last episode and now, but not started. It was started last episode. So I'm just gonna go through every open whip, and I don't think I have anything in hibernation right now. I think. Let me check. So before I get into whips, just to make it very clear, the thing I had in hibernation last episode was the 6-Day Superstar blanket by Betty McKnitt. There's a crochet blanket. That's no longer in hibernation. That's a frog. I have fully abandoned that because of my newly developed tendonitis in my right hand. That's my hook hand. I can't do long bouts of crochet like at all anymore. So, or at least I probably could, but I don't really want to. I don't want to take the chance. I want to be able to keep knitting, and I can finally like do push-ups and shit like that. Like I can put pressure on my hand, and I'm not worried about things getting messed up more right now. I don't want to do that again with more crochet. So crochet is minimal, like not doing much of that. And pretty much everything is knitting. Knitting is the safe stuff right now. The Superstar 6-Day Superstar has been frogged. So I do have plans for that yarn. I'm going to upcycle it, or not upcycle it, but I've assigned it to a new project in my queue. So that will become a thing eventually. If I can get some of these things off the needles, some of these bigger things off the needles. But let's do the whip roundup. So first one, Garter Eyelet blanket is still a thing. It's still a thing. God damn it, it's still a thing. I actually don't remember. I don't remember where I was last episode. All I know is that I ripped it out again because it still was not using up all the yarn. But I have finally gotten to the point again where I have added a lifeline and I have begun the official decreasing. Like the full-on decrease section, and I'm hoping to whatever entity is out there that I get it right this time, because I do not want to rip it out again. Really don't. So we shall see if my math worked, and God, I hope this is done. I want this done before the end of the year. Like, I want it done preferably before Christmas. Like, this isn't a Christmas present for anybody but me. Like, I am the recipient of this, and my husband by association. So, I would very much like to not have to deal with it anymore. Just because I'm very ready to be finished with it. Like, this is probably one of the longest projects I've ever done. And it's frustrating to keep tearing it out when it's so freaking pretty. Like, when I laid it out to like evaluate before tearing things out, I looked at it and I was like, this is beautiful. I hate that I have to fucking tear it out again. So I found my marker. I'm gonna put that back where it goes, because I can do that again. I can put markers where they belong. But yeah, so that's my blanket inspired by Helen Stewart's Habitation throw with some modifications in the construction and applied I-cord or knit I-cord. I actually don't know the terminology for the I-cord that you knit wall knitting thing. I don't know what that's called. I want to say it's applied, but I don't know for sure. Oops. So, yep, that bad boy is slow going. Been semi in hibernation because I was so freaking mad at it. I am hopeful. I'm hopeful that it will become an FO in the next like 2 months. That would be so nice if I could get that off my needles in the next 2 months. It'd be so wonderful. And whip number 2, again, another blanket. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? So next one is the Log Cabin Blanket by Stacey Perry for my husband. Last time you saw it, little markers where I was. So I finished that square, did this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So that's quite a bit of progress on that square. And then I started the next one, which is now there. So not too bad. I mean, it has very much been in timeout. There is something about doing a bunch of little garter sections that just kind of irk me right now, and the color changes and the ends and it's not bringing me all that much joy at the moment, so I'm just kind of ignoring it a little bit. But who knows? It might spark some stuff again, and I might decide to go back on it. For now, it just kind of lives downstairs for whenever the roulette wheel says, okay, on that one. And it's like, I know, but okay, I'll do it for like an hour. So, but yeah, that's the Log Cabin Blanket by Stacey Perry. I'm doing that out of Lion Brand's Pound of Love in the colors Black, Chocolate, Cadet, Sleet, Oxford Gray, not Custard Gray, Jesus, Oxford Gray, and Denim Blue on a US 8 or 5mm needle. I'm also doing the Garter Eyelet on a US 8 is 5mm needle as well. This next one was something, and then I tore it out because it was making me unhappy. So previously this was the Groove Shawl Light by Sarah Opie, and I was not, and while I liked the pattern, I was not happy with how this particular yarn was pooling. I don't like pooling, which is really ironic considering how many fucking variegated yarns I own that do the pooling thing. So I decided, I don't know if I'm able to show it very well because I'm mid-row on this damn thing. I decided that I was going to take the Garter Eyelet pattern that I'd done for the blanket and turn it into a shawl. So this is going to be really difficult to show right now because it's halfway through the row, but so that's literally the same pattern as the Garter Eyelet, but it's a single fingering weight instead of the Garter Eyelet is fingering weight held double. Oh my god, I didn't even give you any details on that. Jesus Christ. Garter Eyelet blanket is knit out of a bunch of Sewrella fingering weight yarns, bunch of full skeins and mini skeins, like just a mishmash of Sewrella yarns. But this yarn, I was just not happy with how it was working up in that groove shawl, so I decided I was going to rework it and make it into a fairly wide shawl that I can like wrap over and around myself for when I'm in the office or even just at home. And I'm way happier with how it's working up in this pattern. It's not pulling like in the slightest, and if it does, it just adds to the like galactic effect, because this yarn is called Doctor Who Cut the Ear Off, as in like Doctor Who. So it's meant to just be like you're looking at a galaxy or some shit, and to me at least, it looks like I'm looking at a galaxy. So I'm way happier with how this pattern is working in this yarn. So I think finally I found something for the yarn to become, which makes me so happy after years and years and years of struggling to find a project for this yarn. I'm immensely happy that I found something to do with it. And I have enough of this yarn that this shawl is going to be looking massive. I mean massive. I have like 2,500 yards of this yarn. So it's gonna be a really big freaking shawl. Like really, really, really big. So I'm extremely happy with how that's going. So that will be a long-term project unless I get some wild hair up my ass and decide to like speed run it. Which could be a thing. I don't know. We will see. But I'm doing that on a US 6 or 4mm needle. Like I literally, when I decided that I was going to tear out the groove light and make it into something else, or make it into this shawl, I literally didn't change anything. I didn't change the project bag, I didn't change the markers, I didn't change the needle, nothing. I just cast on as if I was doing another one of those blankets and just went with it. And admittedly, I'm better able to refine the self-draftingness of the other pattern by doing it on the smaller project, and I might write it up once the shawl is done and have it be like one of those shawl blanket schlanket kind of patterns that you can do like with any weight yarn, and just requires you to like weigh out your yarn beforehand, weigh out how much you have used when you get to the point of it's wide enough, and then save that amount for when you do your decreases. So I might do that, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so that's the Garter Eyelet shawl. And the next one is something I said I wasn't going to do, but with the encouragement of my therapist, I did do. I have started a cardigan, which I said I wasn't going to do until I was done with my weight loss journey, but I was in such a freaking rut and needed so damn badly to knit something that was not an accessory or a blanket that I decided I would just like slightly size down in the pattern. And also this pattern was haunting me, and it was just like, knit me, knit me, knit me. So I was weak. I gave in. So this is my Isa cardigan. It's got this beautiful lace that'll be on the front of it, down the front, down the center. It's lace on both sides. And a knit-on button band, which is so freaking cool. I love that. I love that I won't have to pick up for button bands. Oh my god. Like literally, I'll do the body and put on the collar, like the top collar, and then just do the sleeves. That's it. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And this is going really good. So, this is the Isa cardigan by Alexandra I'm so terrible at last names. Sweet baby Jesus. It's over here and also linked down there. So, you can guess the name. I don't know how to say it. Alexandra something. And I'm knitting this out of Stylecraft Special DK in the color Wisteria. It is a much lighter, brighter purple than I normally would wear, but it's actually really soft despite it being an acrylic. Like Stylecraft has some really soft acrylic. Oh, I just realized I made the decision to intentionally put like a little pearl line on both sides of the cardigan to give it like a faux seam kind of look. And so far I like it. Like it doesn't, not unhappy about it. And even if I was, like by the time I split for the sleeves, if I really, really wanted to, I could totally just drop the stitch and use a crochet hook and fix it. If it was really going to bother me that much, but right now I just like that it's that little kind of seamy like detail. Yeah. So that's, I am having also to modify this because I wanted a longer body, and the side, like the armhole depth for my bust size, like as it, like at negative, like I'm doing it right now with 0 ease because ideally in the coming, like even at 0 ease it'll still be really cute and I can wear it open, or as I get smaller I can wear it closed like with the buttons, which I haven't bought yet. But I wanted to like regardless I have to accommodate larger arms before or after any surgeries or anything. Like, my arms are the size they are. Like, I have to accommodate that regardless of what size my breasts are or my bust is. So I had to do some math and add an extra like 10 centimeters or something of length in total, 4 of which is going into the armhole depth on the front and the back. Only 2 centimeters in the front and then 2 centimeters on the back, equivalency of 4 centimeters in circumference, and then another 6 or so in the body to make it just a little bit longer or hang a little bit lower and then hit like high hip or maybe like mid hip where I want it. So I'm really happy so far with where it's going. I'm really close to being done with the body part, actually. How long ago? I just did another buttonhole, and there's like 11 centimeters in between the buttonholes, and I need exactly 4. When I get to the 4th buttonhole, that's when I'm supposed to split for my sleeves, but I'll be verifying when I get to that point if it's actually going to hit where I want it to hit. Like, I'll probably put it on some stitch saver cord or whatever and try it on, like hold it where I want, where it's ideally going to be on my body, and see, okay, am I happy with where it's hitting? Do I want it to be a little longer? And then from there, either add some length or just do the sleeve split and start the back piece or whatever. So that is going really well. I am experiencing some weirdness because this yarn, being in acrylic, and being in the container that it was in, it got a little like, I don't know if you can even see it, did get a little like sun bleached in this one particular spot that was exposed to the sunlight. So I'm having to do some weird yarn management, like work from the inside and stop using that ball of yarn when I get to this like outer layer of the ball, which is a little sucky, but like I think I have like 12 balls of this, so, and only like 3 or 4 of them have this weird discoloration, so I'm not too worried. And plus, like, even if there was some discoloration on like the inner yarns, it's so minimal, it's like maybe half a stitch's worth, so I'm really not worried about it. And even if it does show up, like, it's so minimal that I can't really see it at all. So I'm really not worried. It almost lends like a tonal effect to a commercially made yarn. So I'm not worried. And then the next one, whip number 5. Yeah, 5 of 6. Whip number 5. I need to fix that. Oh well. Whip number 5 is another sock yarn cowl because I needed to go to the dentist and I didn't have one on my needles. So I started another one before I went to the dentist. And I'm currently about there. And this one is just a random Sewrella Oopsie fingering weight from like 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years now. 2021 is 4 years ago. Holy crap. Yeah, that's it. It's just another one of those little cowls. These have become, like, I think at this point I just have a bunch of yarns. I'm just stockpiling them. They'll be, like, I can donate them, I can gift them, like, it's not super complicated. It's really, really easy. There's a, Noble Knits actually has, like, 3 different weight versions of that same cowl pattern, so I can literally do it in pretty much any weight yarn that I've got, so. I have a lot of scrap yarn or just random one-off skeins that I'm going to pair with some other stuff to just use it up. Get it out of my stash. Get it out. Get out of the stash. And I'm still doing that on the US 5 or 3.75 millimeter needle. Like every fingering weight sock yarn cowl I do is on a US 5. Just like my socks are on a US 1 always. And the last whip, I have 1.5 to show you. I say 1.5 because this whip, if his needles will hopefully not make a bunch of noise, is a pair of gloves, or fingerless gloves, for my husband. Because he has been asking me for some like tipless or fingerless gloves forever, for when it's super, super cold here, or especially now that he's changed apartments, he like has to, like, when the winter comes, he's gonna have to spend time out in our warehouse, and the warehouse is not super heated. And he won't be moving around a whole bunch, so he'll be cold and his hands will be cold, but he still needs to be able to use his fingers for moving things and for typing. So these are my little fingerless gloves, and the pattern does not include this little texture, this cable texture. I added that. I had my husband go through, what is this book? I had him go through my 400 knitting stitches Pottercraft by Pottercraft book, and he ended up picking one that I think was called, what was it called? Wasp Nest or something? Yeah, it was called Wasp Nest number 1. This one down here. This is what it was called. So I just gave him the book, and he went through and picked a whole bunch, and we landed on that one. So the front of the glove has that little pattern on it, and then it's just stocking it in the back. So when he wears it, this is gonna be huge on my hand, but it'll be, looks like that. With custom little fingers. This is how you know I love my husband. I knit all these little fingers. All the little fingers. All the half fingers. So I did that one, and then I got to the point on the other one yesterday where I completed the thumb, and I just have to do the 4 fingers. I have to separate off the pinky, do a couple more rows to add more length to the 3 middle fingers, and then do the 3 middle fingers. And that's it. And then I'm done. These will be done in time, just in time for when it gets cold. So I'm really happy with those. Oh, and the yarn, oh my goodness. So the gray is Barocco Vintage in the color, what is it? Storm. And then this blue down here is Lion Brown Wool Ease in the color Denim. Okay. So that's it for whips. There are no more whips. Some acquisitions slash stashy stuff. In between last episode and this episode, I brought in 5 balls of Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick. 2 of them were for my blanket. Another 3 were for the other Woolies Thick and Quick blanket, the one that's in the color Sea Glass. Based on this blanket itself, I knew I wasn't going to have enough of the Sea Glass that I had been stockpiling to make another version of this blanket. I want the Sea Glass one to be slightly bigger. So I got another 3 balls for that. Which hopefully, I think it's like, I have like 14 balls now of Sea Glass. So if that doesn't make a good size blanket, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. And then with all of those 4 projects combined, the sock yarn cowl, the socks, the bulky blanket, and then the pad for the cat, I am at a negative 1,334 grams for the month. For the last 2 months, but mostly for the month. Whatever. For the month of August, negative 1,300 calories, good lord. 1,300 grams. Which is really good. Like, go me. That's more grams out. Get the grams out. I want them out, not in. So, not bad. So, content warning, we are now getting into the weight loss and anxiety stuff and life stuff. So, if you're only here for the knitting, that's fine. See you later. C'est la vie. Whatever. See you in a month. See you in a month. But anyway, so weight loss stuff has been kind of stagnant still. Hovering in those damn 250s. I haven't had much movement at all. Which is, I guess, a good thing. Like, despite how fucking chaotic the last couple months have been, it's actually pretty good that I maintained the 250 mark. Especially with how August has been. So if you guys remember, I said that August was like the light at the end of the tunnel last time. That's when the new system starts, and it did. August 4th was go live day, and the good news is that before we even went live, I submitted my application and transferred departments. So originally the plan was for me to handle my open orders until I was done with them, or until most of them were done, and then hand anything new off to whoever was taking my territory, and that didn't happen. Like day one, not only there was day one of going live, there was a whole bunch of problems anyway. Data didn't get migrated over properly, so my entire old team, the customer service team, had to spend majority of day one just validating a bunch of data that was brought over. And my boss, the boss of the customer service team, or the manager, my old manager, made the decision, despite what her and I had talked about, that every order that was mine was to be put into the person taking over for me's name. So nothing was in my name from the get-go, which kind of made it impossible for me to work any of my own orders. On top of that, when we went live, we had been in a blackout in terms of entering any invoices from suppliers or billing customers for almost a week and a half at that point. Like August 4th when we went live, it'd been a week and a half freeze of any new information, new billing, anything being put in. So with my moving to a new role, my role being accounts payable, my title is accounting clerk, but my main function is accounts payable. So if you don't know what that means, it means I take the invoice from the vendor or the supplier, put it in the system, and make sure it gets paid. That's pretty much, that's the bulk of what I do, is making sure the invoices are in the system or credits are in the system so that people get paid what they're supposed to get paid. That's ultimately what I do now. And I, like, day one was with my old team, and I spent the first 6 hours that first day just helping validate data from all the orders that were brought over. But then the second day, my entire focus was on the invoices because there was no one else authorized to do it. So day two in the system, I'm putting in there's like 400 invoices that are just waiting to be put in at that point, because we had a week and a half of just pending, and then every single day we were in the system, there were another 30 to 50 new invoices every single day. So Monday when we went live, there were like 400 invoices. I didn't get to do any of them that day. Tuesday, when I finally got to start doing some of them, there was 450. And yes, I could get in like a couple, like maybe 150 one day, and then very next day there'd be another 50. And the first 2 weeks were just backup hell. And then on top of that, one of the companies within our division does not have an accounts payable at all. So I'm their accounts payable. So I'm having to interact with people at one of my sister companies who I've never interacted before, and they send me their invoices that need to be posted. Like luckily they go through, one of their people goes through their AP box and figures out what legacy system PO goes with what new system PO, and they write it all down and give me the documents, and then I put it in the system as pretending that be them. I have access to their company code in the new system, so I can post things for their company code. So that is what the last month. It has been 4 weeks I've been in this new position, and like the first week did not go how it was supposed to at all. Like I was actually kind of peeved that I didn't get to really close out any of my own orders because of the move. The following, like week 2, and on top of that, first week I had to be in the office the whole week, because my official start date for my new job was not until the 11th, the following Monday. So the first week in the new system, my last week as customer service, we were required to be in the office the entire week. So I was in the office the entire week, which means driving every fucking day. No gym time happened that week. I almost fucking fell asleep driving home that Wednesday. I was so goddamn tired from all the bullshit of entering all these documents and trying to help people get their own shit figured out, because a lot of things did not come over properly. We spent so much time fixing things, it was ridiculous. So that when the 11th rolled around, I was like everything moved. Literally everything moved. Like my clock-in system, I moved from one manager to another. Like my name, like my title, everything, just in the company's system, everything changed. The 11th, I was no longer customer service. I became accounting clerk under the finance director. Like, I'm not customer service anymore. So starting that day, I was able to start, actually the week before, I was able to start like telling customers who were emailing me, like, I'm not going to be doing this for you anymore. Contact this person now. Like, send your stuff to this person. I'll help you where I can, but this is your new contact. And that's like, I have a signature that I add on to emails I send to people now that says, I'm not your person anymore, please contact this person. And so yeah, so that's the 11th was my first official day as like fully transitioned as accounting clerk, and I was able to be remote because my new boss does not care what my remoting schedule is at all. There is no requirement of how many days I'm in the office with this new boss. None at all. She does not care. So whatever days I am in the office are 100% self-imposed. I settled on Wednesdays are a definite because Wednesdays are typically like company activity days, company treat days, like company bonding days pretty much. And then Thursdays and or Fridays, depending on if I have appointments in the area. So like a week that I have an appointment on Thursday, 20 minutes away from the office, I have an appointment, how do I put this? Wednesday for sure. And then say I don't have any appointments Thursday, but I have an appointment like 20 minutes from the office on Friday. I won't go in the office on Thursday, but I will Wednesday and Friday. But, or I may, if I don't want to deal with the BS of bringing my laptop to and from work, I might go in the office Thursday too and just do Wednesday through Friday. If I'm feeling it. I haven't been feeling it yet. So far, I'm like, oh, I don't actually need to be in the office for Friday? Hell yeah, I'm gonna not be in the office on Friday. Like, working 3 days a week at home is fucking fantastic. So, and as of yesterday, we finished out our first month in the new system, and like, it's going to be a couple more months before I actually learn any of the like closing month accounting functions that are going to come with my job, and there's a bunch of other functions I just don't know yet. A couple weeks ago, those were like 2 weeks ago, that was causing me some anxiety for sure, because I was like, they're using all this language I don't know. I don't speak the language of accounting yet. I just don't. And my husband was like, well, you have to remember, you've only been in there for like 2 weeks. You haven't been in, you went from 4 years in customer service to 2 weeks in accounting. Like, give yourself some slack. It's going to take time to learn all the terminology, and learn these codes and learn all this stuff that your new boss is saying to you. And I was like, yeah, you're right. It's going to take some time. But ultimately, like, being able to do my own schedule and having that freedom is already helping my brain so goddamn much. It's like, I finished putting all the invoices in for my company by like 10 o'clock in the morning my time, and then like half an hour later my sister company person sends me their invoices like half an hour later, and I'm done with those by like 11:30, 12 o'clock. And then I have nothing to do for the rest of the day. So you can imagine the reason so many things got done, because the last month I've had primo knitting time during the day. So, and it's not like I'm just like not doing my job. I'm doing my job. I just currently don't have enough things to do to keep me busy for 8 straight hours, but that's okay. Like, compared to having enough that I would not be able to get done in 12 hours to not having enough to fill 8 hours is a big difference, and it's going to be so much better for my mental health. And I can already feel how much like better it is for my brain. Like, the bad thoughts have kind of stopped like almost entirely, like even amidst hormonal time. Like, I don't feel like I'm going bonkers. I don't want to jump off a bridge, which is great. Like, I don't feel the need to use any special words to leave the office. Like, just being out of customer service is the best thing that could have happened for me, and I just feel so good about doing it, and I don't regret leaving the department at all. I'm sure, like, I know that my old boss misses me and misses my knowledge and everything, because like after like literally week 1 happened, and then I was remote the first 2 days of week 2. I came in Wednesday of week 2 and told our IT guy, like, hey, I want to move cubicles. Can you get me monitors for this cubicle that doesn't have monitors? And he was like, sure. And quite literally the second week I moved cubicles. Like, Thursday before I went home to work remote that Friday, I moved cubicles entirely. Like, I could feel the stares of the woman whose cubicle was across from me I could feel how like I could feel how sad she is at me not being in there anymore. Like I can just feel it. And I don't care. I really don't care. Like after spending 4 years in the department and being completely denied for a freaking promotion to lead last summer, claiming I don't have enough experience, and yet seeing my old boss exhibit like, yeah, you're gonna be lead like behavior with another person on my team who's been there for less than 2 years. Like, no. If you're gonna tell me I can't be lead, but you're not gonna give me the direction to learn to be lead, then I'm not gonna give you my effort anymore. And then also tack on that, after being denied for promotion last summer, I then had to deal with a year of all this new system stress on top of doing my normal job. No, thank you. No, you don't pay me enough for that. I think the only downside to this new job is there was no pay raise. No pay raise at all. No pay raise, no bonus payout raise. The good things though are, one, complete work from home freedom, which compared to what it was, and not getting scrutinized every fucking second of every day is a major plus. And then also on top of that, because I'm doing invoice processing for our sister company, I will get added to their bonus program. So I will get a bonus payout from them too, because I'm also working for them. So I will get like double bonuses, which would be cool. So I'm essentially being compensated. Appropriately. And they could have probably taken $1 from me and I would have been happy, because being able to work from home whenever I want is amazing. Like, seriously amazing. But yeah, so things in the work stress realm are good. They're getting better. I'm very much looking forward to the depressy and the burnout being gone. I'm looking forward to having energy to actually do things around the house again. I can feel it. I can feel that I'm getting close to like being able to clean something after work when the work hours are done. Like, I already have no problem running laundry and doing dishes like during the workday. I don't have any problem doing that. It's the cleaning things that I have problems with. So I'm really hoping that I can get to a place where on my remote days I feel that I have the energy to spend like half an hour cleaning something after the workday, so that I can actually like maintain my home and not feel like a piece of shit. Because admittedly, when you live 45 minutes away from where you work and you spend an hour and 45 minutes in a car every damn day, on top of being in the office for 9 hours, and then you somehow have to go to bed 3 hours after you get home, like, there's no time for anything. There really isn't. And the weekends is not an option. It's just, we try, but like, we're so damn tired. But I'm looking forward to not being so tired, having the energy to do things, having more time for knitting, having more time for projects, more time to spend with my pets. Jesus Christ. The pets are so freaking happy that I'm home 3 days a week now. They're so happy. Like, they can sense the change in me. The cat actually likes me a little bit more. The dog is overjoyed that I'm freaking home. Everybody's happy. So, my husband's happy that I'm not, like, I don't want to jump off a freaking bridge anymore, which my therapist is happy about that. My nutritionist, like, all the professionals I work with are super happy that I don't want to jump off a bridge, because my stress is, like, coming down. But yeah, so anxiety, life better, gym is meh. My therapist has this kind of thought that I'm bored with the gym, so I need to find other forms of movement. So I kind of convinced my husband to get a walking pad. So I have a walking pad now that I can get some steps in. So I have this really weird thought that maybe part of my problem, despite being in a calorie deficit, is that I don't have like that non-exercise activity thermogenics movement, or the NEAT that you're supposed to have, i.e. the 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day thing. The whole time I've been on this weight loss journey, I've never once really done that. I think I've hit 8,000 steps once. So I'm curious if doing the steps will help a bit. And especially with like cooler weather coming up and everything, like it will be nice to be able to like do the steps but not have to be outside when it's cold or rainy, because it rains a lot here. Because right now I'm dealing with a lot of the annoyance with the logistics of coming home, getting changed, going to the gym. Like the logistics of going to the gym is just kind of annoying right now. So I'm hoping that by working from home more, I'll be more inclined to go to the gym, because it's only just leaving the house once instead of leaving, coming back. As well as the walking pad to get the steps when I don't go to the gym or don't go over a walk. So, hoping for that. Other thing that I've noticed in terms of my brain, I think it was 6 weeks ago or something. It was around the time of sometime in July. I made the decision to go see my dad and have a very honest and very adult conversation with him. For context, I am the kind of person currently that does not really have a very honest relationship with their parents. I just don't. I, for the longest time, did not feel I could be my authentic self with my parents, with either of them. I felt a bit safer being honest with my dad and just like having difficult conversations with him, just because he's the parent I've always been closest with. My mother, not so much. My mother is very close-minded and very much her way or the highway, and is not open to new ideas or anything. Makes it really hard to have hard conversations, especially with what's going on in the US right now. Those conversations don't happen with my mother. And I sadly am too easily volatile when it comes to the topics to have a like calm conversation about it with her. Because she says stuff and it's just like, it just makes me mad and I want to scream at her, and it's like, that's not helpful. Screaming at someone screaming at someone because they're arrogant does not help anything. But anyway, I went and talked to my dad, and I went and talked to him because I was struggling with a lot of things. I was struggling with the suicidal thoughts. I was struggling with, like majorly struggling with the current state of the country, of current state of the US, especially as a woman. I'm sure people outside the US are terrified for us. I'm fucking terrified. I looked at my dad and was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm terrified for everyone else on the other sides of the other part of the country that they're being stripped of fucking everything. And I'm like, Dad, I'm one little person. I can't do anything. I want to do something. I want to help these people, but I don't know what to do. I can't do anything. Like I'm so overwhelmed by trying to get the information that I like shut down, and I just can't do anything. That's one of the things I struggle with, is that I want to be informed, but there's so much information and I don't have the skill set to weed through the misinformation. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, my husband is most of my source of information, because he's really good at sifting through misinformation and finding the truth. So he is my truth meter because he's really good at finding the real shit. Like, really good at it. The man's Google skills are insane. But I said, like, I was talking to my dad. I'm like, Dad, you've lived through so many elections and so many crises at this point, because my dad's like almost 60 and shit. I'm like, Dad, how do you live through this? How do you? And my dad's a bit more on the moderate progressive side, like I am, and I was like, Dad, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with knowing that there are people in this world that would want to hurt the people you love, or like, how do you deal with this? How do you go about living in this world and living through these things? And he ultimately was just like, yeah, I'm going to tell you the same thing I had to tell your grandmother, because she was freaking out about the same way that you are. Like, you are one person. You can only control what is in your immediate vicinity. Your local government is far more important than the federal government, because that's going to impact you way fucking faster and way more immediately than anything the federal government fucking does. And then he also reminded me that a lot of what is going on right now is a bunch of power grabbing and fear mongering, and it's all about power. There's no brain cells in there. It's just a power grab. It's all fear mongering and just to split people up. And you have to remind yourself that it's like that you're one person. You are one person, and trying to hold the weight of the world and the weight of the country on your shoulders is not feasible. It's not healthy. Not safe. So I was, yeah, that was a really nice wake up call to just be like, oh yeah, that's right. I am one little person. I can't. It's really unrealistic to hold the entire weight of the country and everything on my shoulders. Like, I don't know why I do this. I just do. Like, when shit goes wrong in the country or even in the world, like I see something goes wrong and I have one or two responses. I either am just like, oh, that's unfortunate, like I'm kind of apathetic to it, or I'm like, oh my god, I need to do something. I like, what do I do? And I spiral into I don't know what to do. I'm a failure as a human being whole. So he said that, and then I also asked him, like, I asked him a couple other questions. There were some other things I needed to talk to him about. Like, I asked him, if he was upset with me because I made the decision to be child-free and to not have children, especially as a firstborn daughter. I get a lot of shit from my mother and my mother-in-law about my husband and I deciding not to have children. Look, the world, you really expect, why would I bring a kid into this world? And I literally asked him, I'm like, are you mad at me because I made the decision to not have kids? And he was like, no, why the fuck would I be mad at you for choosing how you want to live your life? And oh my god, that sentence alone was a door opener. Because I have operated as do everything to make your parents proud. Like, nothing is for me, literally. Like, nothing, almost nothing I've ever done in my life, with the exemption of choosing my husband and choosing some of the things for my wedding, were decisions I made for myself. Like, almost every, like, general life decision I've made has been with the intention of making my parents proud or doing what I think my parents want me to do. Because I am a recovering people pleaser. And I spent my entire life that I did sports to make my dad happy. I tried to get good grades to make my parents happy. Like, I attempted to go to college to make my dad happy. Like, I did so many things throughout my life to make my parents happy that I've harbored and held onto so much guilt at making the decision myself and my husband as a unit to not have children. And because when we tell people, as most child-free people experience, we get so much flack. We get so much, oh, you'll change your mind when you're older. You'll change your mind. It's the greatest thing in the world. Why would you not make this decision? And I'm sure it is the greatest, like, the best thing in the world for some people. But there are other people in this world, like myself, like my husband, who are hyper aware, and I mean hyper aware, of the damage and trauma we carry that is still unprocessed, that we do not want to pass on to a child. Both of us come from parents who have come from couples who had highly traumatic backgrounds, did not fucking deal with that trauma, and then passed it on to us. We are the generational trauma children, and we are breaking the cycle. That is what we're doing. Like, I am in so much fucking therapy to break the trauma cycles, because that come from my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my father, his mother. Like, there is so much fucking generational trauma just for me. And then you add in my poor fucking husband, who went 30 fucking years without an ADHD diagnosis, has so much trauma from a very verbally, physically, emotionally abusive mother who gaslit the fuck out of him as a child. Like, he has been through so much shit, and he is only just barely melting the surface of his trauma. I've got 4 or 5 years of therapy under my belt, but I still have a lot of shit that hasn't been processed. I still have so much shit that I can't handle unless I have him with me. Like, bottom line, we are hyper aware of how much trauma the two of us carry. We as a unit are too aware of what happens to children who have parents who are not ready and cannot regulate themselves. They cannot teach their kids to regulate themselves. Like, they they struggle to. Like, if you can't regulate yourself, how the fuck are you gonna help teach a kid to regulate themselves? How? Like, you don't have the skills. How are you supposed to teach them the skills? So it makes me so fucking mad. And why would I, like, and I'm mad and I'm not even a parent. Imagine how much more angry I would be if I was. Imagine how much more anxious I would be if I was a parent. Like, I cannot put that myself through that. I can't. I just can't. And, like, same with my husband. Like, he would be an anxious disaster all the time if we were to do that. Like, we just can't. I had that talk with my dad. My dad telling me that why would he be upset with me for making the decisions for my own life was a door opener. And it kind of allowed me this, it's like when my husband and I started going to therapy went to therapy for a bit earlier this year. It's like having someone say it's okay to do this opened a door for me. Like, when we were in therapy, having someone say you should be communicating with your husband in the midst of having a thing so that you can communicate what you actually want, what you don't want, what you like, what you don't like. Like, this is a new level of communication, and it's okay. Having someone say it's okay to do this thing, like having my dad say, you're okay to go live your life. I expect that you're going to live your life how you want to live your life. It's your life. Was a door opener. It completely opened a door. Like, I was standing behind that door and it opened finally, and now I finally feel like it's like I can just be myself. I can find who I actually am. I can find all those quirky little things about myself that I wanted to like as a child but didn't, because I was going to get harassed and belittled by parents or grandparents or anybody that I like. The things that I like, oh my god, like discovering my love of dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Holy fuck. Like, and like not feeling like a weirdo for my obsession with yarn and knitting. Like, this is an all-consuming hobby of mine. It consumes every waking moment of my thoughts in a good way, and it brings me so much joy and blows my family's minds. Like, like, I send my dad and my brother a freaking photo of something, and they're just like, holy fuck, you made that. That is amazing. And I don't know, just having that conversation made me feel like I could finally start to do things for myself. That I could finally start to be vocal about how I feel about things, be vocal and speak out against oppression, be vocal and speak out when someone is saying something that's fucking stupid, or saying something that's hypocritical, or something like that. Like, saying how I feel without being afraid of how family will react. Like, if you don't like it, fuck off. That's the attitude I'm trying to take with, like, almost everything these days. Like, you don't like it, fuck off. It's my life. Fuck off. I'd live for no one but me and my husband and my pets. People in this house. If you are not a creature in this house, I don't fucking care. If you do not reside in this house overnight, you do not get an opinion. You don't. It is my fucking life. It is my house. You don't get a say. You just don't. So that was a door that was opened, and I'm feeling a lot lighter. I feel lighter, and like I can start to do things that I want to do and speak the way I want to speak, and just carry myself and not carry others. I spent, especially in my old position, I spent a lot of that 4 years carrying people and doing things so that people didn't have to suffer, didn't have to struggle, and that was to my detriment, 100% to my detriment. Like, I got nothing out of doing that. I really didn't. All I got was preventing someone from having to bother me later. That was it. Which doesn't help them learn, literally at all. They don't learn anything if they don't struggle. So, as I've learned, I gotta let them struggle. So, I think I'm gonna end it there. I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good week. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear about anything else, if you want to see anything else. If you have any questions, put them down there. Tell me what you're knitting. Like, are you knitting anything cool? Like, are you needing? What was the last? Well, here's a question. Here's a question for the comments. What is the last, like, what was the most recent project that you were insanely proud of completing? I want to know that. I want to know what your, like, most recent hella proud project is down in the comments. Let me know. I want to know. I want to know. So I guess with that, I will be done. I'll be done now. But it was good to be back. Hopefully we'll see you guys in a month. So, bye.